Welcome back to Mr. Leek's free science tutorials. Now on to a radiation topic, or radioactive decay. So the question here is, what is radioactive decay and what issues can it cause? So 2 parts to the question. What is it? What problems can it cause? So what radioactive decay is, you will have a substance that is unstable. Now, there are certain substances that are much more unstable than others, like uranium and plutonium are very unstable, where something like helium is very, very stable. And what they'll do is they will randomly emit radiation to become stable. So basically what they'll do is you'll have a uranium atom, right? It'll be sitting there, it'll be very, very unstable, not very happy at all. And all of a sudden what it'll do, it'll decay and it will give out radiation to try to become as stable as possible. We use a Geiger-Müller tube to detect it. And what it looks like a thin toilet roll, right? And when radiation goes into it, it goes click, 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 click. And what we do is we measure it in becquerels. Now, with a Geiger-Müller tube, what it'll be doing, it'll be constantly clicking anyway. Because all around you, in this room, wherever it may well be, you will have background radiation. Certain places like with granite, like the Isle of Skye and places like that, they have a lot of background radiation, and the Geiger-Müller tube detects it. Ionization is where all radiation ionizes, right? So all radiation, if it goes into your body or it does something to something else, it ionizes something, right? Which is part of the way in which cancers can then be created. The question then, what is radioactive decay? Just gone through it. And that's the definition of radioactive decay, and these are some facts about it. What issues can it cause? The 2 words that you need to know are contamination and irradiation. Now, contamination is basically when the actual substance gets inside the body. It gets contaminated. So it's an unwanted presence of radioactive atoms. Right, so if I got a cup and it had radioactive substance in it, I drank it and it goes inside to me, then I would be then contaminated. Irradiation is when the person is exposed to a radiation source. So if I had that cup of radioactive substance and I just put it on the desk in front of me and it was powerful enough, I would then suffer from irradiation because I'm exposed to it. Now, there's a very, very famous Russian spy who got contaminated. Supposedly somebody managed to get some radioactive substance into his hospital bed where he then drank it in a cup of tea. He then got contaminated. That was an unwanted presence of radioactive atoms inside the body. Now, back to the question. What is radioactive decay and what issues can it cause? So, to answer that question, radioactive decay is where there is an unstable atom that randomly emits radiation to become stable. You measure it using a Geiger-Müller tube, and it is measured in becquerels. What issues can it cause? It can cause contamination and irradiation. Contamination is where there is an unwanted presence of radioactive atoms, often inside the person. Irradiation is where the person is exposed to a radioactive source. So, there's a question. What is radioactive decay and what issues can it cause? Radioactive decay, unstable atoms randomly emit radiation to become stable. They are measured using a Geiger-Müller tube with the units becquerel. Issues that can be caused are contamination, where you get an unwanted presence of radioactive decay, or radioactive atoms rather, and irradiation, where the person is exposed to the radioactive source.